Brats, for a long time, I have been a firm believer in have some sort of mat, something underneath you that keeps you in your VR zone. And then when you go to step too far and you're gonna get yourself into trouble, you should be able to tell that's changed. The floor has changed under you. Something has changed before you reach the wall. Asterion is looking to fix that with their own Asterion Origin Mat. Let's open this up and talk about this and other VR mats. So this is the Asterion Origin VR Floor Orientation Mat. This is a new product from Asterion. Please note, it is normal for the mat to arrive with creases due to its compact folding. It saves customers considerable shipping costs, but the temporary creases will relax over time. They actually put this on there to kind of force you to actually look at it, which is smart, because a lot of times you get something like that with the product and you would just throw that away immediately. Oh, look at that. It comes with its own little backpack, Asterion. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure I'm gonna use that for the mat, but I might use that for something else because that's cool. Swag. Swag bag. The mat has branding on it. It says Asterion right there. What it has is rubber on the bottom to help it stay in place on your floor. Neoprene, the same stuff wetsuits are made out of, on top. And then it has raised lips around the edges. So if you were playing on the mat and you started to step out of your zone, you would feel that edge and know you're getting to the edge of your boundary. It has 2 orientation points in the middle. One is pretty big. When talking to them, they said that when they were testing this, what they found was they were kind of keeping one foot on that and then moving their other foot around the mat as they pivoted to help keep them in place. And then the other is so that you feel, if you feel this one, you know you're facing forward. And on top of that, at the very front, it's got this triangle to help you orient. This is the very front of the mat. Now let's talk about actual VR mats just for a minute here, because I know a lot of people out there think there's no point in them. You don't need them. You've got the Guardian boundary in place. You've got other things in place to keep you from ever getting out of the zone. And it's a fair argument. And I will say it's one that even for a long time, I thought was fine. I have a big rug in my living room where we did VR, and I knew if I got off that rug, it could be a problem. But after having a mat for a while, I will never go back to not having a dedicated VR mat. Whether it's this one, whether it's the Proximat, the VR Ninjas mat, any mat that fits your play zone in such a way that you know no matter where I stand on this mat, I can swing my arm as hard and as wide as I want and I'm not gonna hit anything. There is a level of safety and comfort to your VR experience cannot be matched by just knowing, oh, as long as I stay in the middle of the room or as long as I kind of stay on this rug, there is just a sense of safety that really allows you to just have fun in VR and get immersed. The Oculus Guardian is another thing that I personally don't like. I like that it's there, we need it. It shows up that grid wall when you get too close saying, hey, you're getting too close. But when that shows up in my virtual environment, that pulls me out really bad. Whether you look at this Asterion mat, whether you go look at other mats, whether you have some of those square tiles that you can interconnect together, I highly recommend for VR having something that you know, no matter where you're at on it, you're not gonna get into trouble. Now let's talk about this mat some more. So this is a brand new mat they just sent me. I've actually had one for several months now that they sent me back from a prototype. And so I will say these creases, like they said, these do fall out, but it takes time. I would say it took probably about a month before it started to get to where I couldn't obviously see them, and about 2 months before it was like, okay, that thing is laying flat on my floor. One big pro about this mat over the other mats I've tried, the other mats are like rubbery yoga mat kind of material, except stickier. None of the other mats do I like being barefoot on. When you're barefoot, your foot like sticks to it and you get that thing where when you go to pull your foot up, you feel like it's peeling off the mat. I hate that feeling. I hate it. That's one thing I like about this mat. The neoprene feels good on your skin. If you've ever had a wetsuit on, you know what that feels like. If you've had certain kind of grips, the grips I use on my controllers have neoprene on the inside. Neoprene is a material that's soft and squishy and feels good on the skin. One big con about this mat that I didn't like though, this orientation hole in the middle, one of the first times I played on it, I ended up sticking my foot right in there and I almost tripped. I was fine. I caught it in there and I was like, whoa, what is that? I thought this hole was a little too big. If you're one that you can keep your foot on there and kind of pivot like they were saying they do, you won't have a problem with that. But if you're just walking around this mat and you quickly go to move and you were to catch your foot in there, it could be a little risky. So I don't love that about it. The edges are great. I really love the raised edges because the other VR mat I use, it just drops off at the edge. This kind of warns you before you get to the edge, so it stops you. And this one is so big, it actually fits more room scale. This is way bigger than even the biggest Proximat you can get. So if you have a big play space, a big room scale, this is the mat that's gonna cover most of that play space for you and give you the freedom to move around. And then last thing, probably the biggest pro that this mat has going against the other ones is the price. This mat is under $40, at least currently on Amazon. The Proximat that I got was 60 bucks, and that was a cheap price for that mat. The VR Ninjas one goes for anywhere from $80 to $100. So this is gonna be your lowest price mat to get in if you want a VR specific mat. That's all the facts for pretty much all the different mats that I know of and have checked out. If you're looking for one, this is one of your lower budget entry options that's gonna work well, or if you always play barefoot, you wanna be barefoot, this is probably your top choice. If you want something a little smaller and in a round shape to help keep you further from your walls, the Proximat has 2 different sizes. They are expensive, but they have 2 different size mats that can help keep you in the zone. And then of course, there's a couple others on Amazon you can check out too. In my opinion, get a mat. If you don't have one yet, find something like a mat, because there's a peace of mind that comes with it that I can't fully explain, that just really allow you to just get in the game and go for it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you have a mat, or if you don't, I'd love to hear in the comments what you think about it, discuss it with you a little bit. So I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and I will see you in another reality.